So I've been doing no-hit runs for a while now. If you don't know what that means, the rules are pretty straightforward. You have to beat one of the FromSoft games without taking a single hit. Now, this is a little bit different from a no-damage run. A hit is defined as any attack or stagger from an enemy, a block, or damage from a player-triggered trap. In addition, deaths are also not allowed in these runs. However, environmental damage, fall damage, and scripted deaths are allowed. I originally started doing these runs out of boredom just to sort of figure out how good I was at these games, but I got addicted to them pretty quickly, and it was also kind of fun just to brag about them with friends. The hitless community is amazing, so I've pretty much exclusively streamed these runs for a while now. Also, it's one of my only sources of dopamine now. At some point, one of my friends suggested I try doing a run on a Guitar Hero controller. Very clearly is a joke, but it sounded just bad enough that I immediately began taking it extremely seriously, and it quickly became the only run I could even think about doing. I don't know why I'm like this. But before I get too far ahead of myself, would this run even be possible? I mean, sure, anything's possible. But is it realistic? Can I commit to this run and perfect it to a point where I can consistently and reasonably get it?
Maybe.
Let's go over a couple things. It just wouldn't be possible to get this run using only a Guitar Hero controller, even for small things like using the menu in the HUD. Maybe in a blue moon I could luck through the whole game and accomplish it this way, but not only would that be basically impossible, I'd argue it would involve a lot of skill. I mean, sure, I could run around in circles in the Abyss Watchers arena for 10 minutes with only God's will protecting me and pray that I don't get hit, but that's just getting lucky. There's no effort involved. In my opinion, that wouldn't be fun to watch or attempt. So what if we modified it? What if we found a way to keep the spirit of the run while still making it possible? Well, what if we could use a different controller for the things in the run that aren't effort-based? That was the one solace I gave myself. I can use my keyboard for menu navigation, HUD usage, and item usage outside of combat. However, all movement and combat had to be done on the controller. I'm also limiting my item usage to only outside of combat. If I need to use an item in a running section or while fighting an enemy or boss, I'm only allowed to do it if it's bound to the controller. I feel like this way I'm able to make the run, like, actually fucking possible, while still conserving the spirit and difficulty of the run, which is that I'm doing it on a Guitar Hero controller. Oh my... Speaking of, which one do I use? Well, that shouldn't be a problem to figure out, considering there's only 100,000 of them. Seriously, I could not believe how many different Guitar Hero controllers there are. Like, how many do you need? They only play one game? While trying to figure this out, I soon discovered the Clone Hero community, a group of people dedicated to playing and creating Guitar Hero levels on PC via their own Guitar Hero-inspired freeware rhythm game, which is amazing.
Now you have to get his penis erect.
Thanks to them, I was able to find out that many of the controllers with extra buttons, like the Rock Band controllers with extra buttons for usage in bass mode, actually bind to the same thing on keyboard and don't actually provide any extra buttons. Not only this, but they have a Google spreadsheet with almost every single Guitar Hero controller and how compatible they are on PC. Thanks to this, I was able to figure out my Guitar Hero controller of choice, the Explorer. This controller, aside from looking sick as fuck, provided quite a few benefits when compared to other controllers. The biggest selling point for me was the ergonomics of the controller. Not only does it have a D-pad, it's placed directly below the start and select buttons, which, using some creative finger placement that will pretty much ensure that I have carpal tunnel within a few days, lets me have all my character movement in combat with one hand and allows me to control the camera with my other hand. If you think about it, this is pretty much exactly what you would do with a normal controller. Also, this controller is notorious for its compatibility with Windows. I don't really understand it myself, but someone actually made an entire video about why it works so well. It's actually really interesting. Let's check it out real quick.
It just works.
Also, my friend had one already, so I just borrowed it and I didn't have to spend any money on this stupid fucking run. Alright, we have our guitar, we have our rule set, now we have to figure out how we're gonna map our controls. I wanted to figure out first which controls I could not afford to get rid of. That way we can bind those first and bind the optional controls later. So first off, we need full directional control of our character. This run requires a lot of precision, and my placement is incredibly important in pretty much every single boss and running section. so this was a no-brainer. The B button was also a no-brainer, as rolling is the only way we can dodge attacks since blocks aren't allowed, and we obviously need it to run during the running sections. I bound all 4 directions, up, left, down, and right, to the D-pad, as it was the closest thing I could think of to the traditional control stick. Unfortunately, it means we only get 8 direction movement, which took some getting used to, but was more than doable. I bound the B button to the... Wait, what is this button called again? Back. What the fuck is back? I also dedicated the start key to an attack, as we're gonna need some form of damage. The attacks we're gonna use will depend on the section or strategy, but generally it was bound to L1 to take advantage of the Twin Blade's disgusting damage output. Next up was the camera. Camera movement is a big deal when it comes to running sections, so not only was it mandatory, I was gonna need it to move in every direction. Although most of the boss fights could be done by just locking on, some of them, like Aldrich and Abyss Watchers, required really good camera control, so we needed our camera for these fights as well. The best possible way I could bind them was with the fret buttons, which presented a problem. This was very uncomfortable at the start and was probably the biggest obstacle in the run, as I'm basically trying to replace a fully moving camera with 4 linear buttons. However, with time, I was able to get used to it, so I ended up sticking with it. Finally, I need a button for interactions, like sitting at bonfires, opening doors, and picking up items. There were only a couple moments in the run that required me to do this in combat, but it was still necessary. I bound this to the guitar shake? The guitar jerk? I don't know what it's called. Either way, I felt like a goof violently jerking my guitar up and down anytime I needed to interact with something, but it wasn't that bad. I actually can't really emphasize how surprised I was at how much I was able to get used to the setup. At some points in the run, it honestly felt like I was just using the regular control stick. I guess it just goes to show how much practice goes a long way. That about does it for necessary controls. Every other input in the run is completely dependent on the situation. With that being said, once those controls are accounted for, it looks like we're left with 4 buttons. Oh wait, never mind. We're left with 2 buttons. The strum bar doesn't fucking work. It's bound to the same thing as up and down, so it's completely useless. This aggravated me so much. When you're limited to this many controls, every single button counts, and only having 2 buttons made it so much harder. But at the same time, I already picked out the controller, so I was kinda left with what I had at that point. So now that we finally have everything figured out, is the run possible? Is it possible to beat Dark Souls 3 on a Guitar Hero controller without taking any hits? Well, surprisingly, yeah. It's not easy. I have to constantly rebind my controls before every single running section or boss in the game, which is extremely tedious, but it was still possible. It was also pretty tricky figuring out which controls were necessary at every single different part of the game, but that was eventually figured out as well. So there we have it. I've laid everything out about this run. If you want a TLDR, here's a quick infograph I made. Honestly, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I've done this run before on a regular controller. All that's changed is the controller. The game knowledge and the muscle memory are still there. It'll take some getting used to, but that's not too bad. I mean, how bad can this run possibly be?
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music. Like old times. Like old times. Look, now I'll start the melody on the organ. That's just plain poppycock.
So the goal's gonna be like us. Oh! Oh god, why are you... No! Okay, yeah, 3 to 4 months ago, then yeah. What the fuck? Fucking... what's it called? Oh my god. Oh god. Did I just press it? It happened again. It happened again. I can't believe it. Oh my god, it happened again. Whoa, it happened again.
Kobe!
Dude. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Kill him. What?
That's just plain poppycock.
That's very nice, thank you.
Oh. Good RNG. Oh god. Oh! Oh my god, I got the glitch and it didn't hit me still. Fuck.
Oh,
Oh my god. What was... That was the worst. That was the worst RNG, and I actually fucking did it. Okay. Oh god. That was bad. Oh, fuck is right. Holy shit. Going to Cinder. Oh my god. Did you see? I almost fucked it up.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Easy clappers type situations developing.
Just gonna hit that freeze frame real quick to explain just how shitty this situation is. Cinder has 4 phases: sorcery phase, cleric phase, pyro phase, and sword phase. The most important part of phase 1 is if he goes into sorcery phase, you have to stagger him so his homing soul mass doesn't carry over into the other phases. This is basically always possible so long as he does his laser beam towards the end. For whatever reason, every 1 out of 20 or so runs, he completely skips the laser and goes straight into the next phase. This means in addition to dodging his regular attacks, you need to dodge the soul masses as well, which is extremely difficult. This is made worse by the fact I only have limited directions I can roll in. If I had the ability to dodge slightly to the left and behind me, it would be fine, but I only have the option to go fully left and fully behind me, which makes it impossible. Right now, in the first run I made to Cinder, he doesn't do the laser and switches to the hardest phase to deal with when soul mass is up. This game is fucking trash. Okay, that was bad. Oh, we got the worst RNG. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, we got the worst RNG. There's no way. Okay, we're safe, we're safe, we're safe. Was fucking unreasonable. Holy shit, are you kidding me? That was the worst phase 1. Fuck! Oh my god, I was choked. Let's fucking go, dude! Oh, fuck, we actually fucking got it. Oh my god.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Holy
Have a
fuck.
single hit for your trouble.
Oh my god, dude. I can't believe we fucking got that. We actually fucking got it, dude, finally.